Andrew Farron. What's going on today, brother?
Today is the day before summer, and it is 60 degrees out, 55 maybe.
It's
So
beautiful
it's beautiful.
in
Good.
Marquette today.
It's a good day for biking. That's for
This is the
sure.
truth.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Let's
Perfect.
get right into it.
Today's a good day for biking.
Yeah. Planning a bike ride probably right after this.
Yeah.
Yeah,
You gonna be around the ski hill?
that was the thing. Yeah. I'd
Well,
like to check out New Yellow.
you should check out our new shuttles. I'd love to give you a ride up that. We're gonna be operating from 3 to 8 today. So
Are you serious?
stop on by, hop on board. Yeah.
Thursdays? Okay, just give me the dates right now, and I'll probably end up writing them down when I go over this podcast.
Sure. Thursday, Friday, 3 to 8.
Yeah.
Saturday, as of right now, we're doing 10:30 a.m. to 3 p.m. and
Okay.
then a second session, we call it 3:30 to 8 p.m.
Just say it one more time.
3 to 8, Thursday, Friday,
Okay.
3:30 or 10:30 to 3 Saturday morning, and then 3:30 to 8 Saturday evening.
Dang. Saturday evening sounds clutch.
Yeah, those are pretty good. The
3 to
morning one is
8,
actually
5 hours.
yeah, 5 hours. And the reason we're doing the two on Saturday is because we're pretty limited on our capacity uphill right now. About 30 people is where we're trying to limit it so people aren't waiting too long.
This starts today.
It was our soft opening a week ago today.
Okay.
We ran for one day. We had a couple
Yeah.
issues with the trailer that we had to address. A couple
Yeah.
welds wiggled loose and just a couple bolts moving. And it's an old trailer that we revamped, cleaned it all up, replaced pretty much everything top to bottom, and working out the kinks. And today we're back at it, ready to rock and roll. So today, tomorrow, and then it's actually Trails Fest this weekend. So we're running Sunday for the downhill race.
Dude, legitimate.
Yep.
Okay, this is like the first time that Marquette Mountain has kind of had its shit together in this regard because there's been some issues throughout the years where the chairlifts weren't good enough, and I was one of those people, like pretty disappointed that we couldn't ride that terrain because of not being able to get up.
You got that one, didn't you?
I did. Killed a mosquito, everybody. Two claps.
There you go. We've had a little bit of a rocky history, and to be honest, I don't even know the whole history of mountain biking at Marquette Mountain. I know it runs deep. 2004 we had Monster Park. Bike Magazine came
Oh
out,
my
just tore the
God.
place up, and,
That's
and
so
it was
rad.
epic. Everything in between as well. I know Vern, probably 12 years ago had dabbled in mountain biking. I don't know to the extent of that. I know Jesse had tried it a few times since I'd been up here. It just, it's one of those things where there's a lot of other things to take care of during a summer. Chairlift maintenance is one, and just other projects, and not a ton of people around in the summer to make all that happen. So I think in the past it's been really difficult to put together and do it consistently, and put other things off. That's the hardest part is
Yep.
by doing the mountain biking,
Yep.
by having my garage guys work on this trailer, on our truck, on our roads, everything we need to provide this offering. We are being distracted from other things, and so it's a constant juggle of, what do we have in front of us, and what resources do we have? How do we best make that work for us and for the ski season? It's always going to be our bread and butter. So
Yeah.
it's something I'm really trying to focus on is staying focused on skiing and snowboarding and what we have in the wintertime,
Yeah.
but also the energy has to be there year round, with the different weddings and different events we have, the mountain biking, the volleyball.
Right.
We need it to be a year round destination, and we need to keep that momentum and energy going year round, keep the good employees we have
Right.
on
Some
our
people
payroll.
who kind of know the lay of the land.
Yeah, instead of losing just about everybody in the summer and then trying to rehire 100 employees every fall and training them,
Holy
and
shit.
to be the
No.
manager of all that and not have your department heads, if you will, that are
Drop out.
there. Yeah, so that's my big goal. And again, it's something I'm really trying to focus on of not distracting us from the ski season. We have a lot of projects that'll be something we probably touch on. Um,
Sounds like you've thought about this a lot.
yeah, probably too much.
Seriously, man.
Yep, it's
There's a lot going on.
I dove right in, and I signed up for this. This is something I pursued, kind of knowing what it was going to entail, and some of the history and the ownership and everything like that. And it's a challenge that I'm happy to take, and it is a lot. It's a lot to think about. My wife's been an angel, and some days she talks to me, and I'm just a wall, and I'm in my own world, a thought a little bit, and she's recognized those days as being days where she helps me figure stuff out. A lot of times we just end up chatting,
Yeah.
and she helps me think
Yeah.
through some of these issues and help find the best remedies for some of
Yeah.
these problems.
And
So,
that's where the value in relationships can really help like take the edge off all that you do when you're on.
hmm
Because you can't be on all the time.
hmm
There has to be an off switch.
hmm
And that's when people can relate to that and people can like help you through that and be like, hey, like I'm doing the same thing.
Yep.
And be like, wow,
Yep.
we're not just in this zone by ourselves. Like everybody is in their own thing,
Yep.
but doing it together. That's
Sure.
awesome.
And to be honest, I mean, we'll get into this a little bit later as well, but my relationship with you and some of the workouts and stuff that we had done in the past was that same, disconnect from my responsibilities and, what I had to do for myself and the community in that regard to just take a little bit of time for myself and take care of
Yeah.
myself
Yeah.
and make sure that that is priority one at all times. And then, being able to switch it back on at the end of that and diving right back in and feeling good, having the energy and
Rocking
strength
and
to do it.
rolling, right? Being on point, doing
Yep.
what you do best,
Yep.
right? It allows for you to do what you do best. That's the amazing thing. To be able to take that time to perpetuate your momentum in whatever it is that you got your mind so focused on, right? So it sounds like the mountain, right? And so now you're able to take a step away and maybe take a second look,
Sure.
right? From a fresh perspective rather than being so zoned like tunnel vision,
Yep.
right?
Yep.
We get that way.
Yep.
We get that way. And that's a sacred thing to be able to like step away and be there for you and your best interests.
Yeah.
And that turns into the best interests of everybody.
Mm-hmm.
Man, dude, I'm stoked with what you're doing at the mountain because now I get to go ride my bike.
Mm-hmm.
If you weren't there, it wouldn't be there. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It wouldn't be the
Potentially.
same.
Yep. It probably wouldn't be. And we had to get creative, to pull this off with what we're doing, the shuttles. Marquette Mountain has never done shuttles before. In order to run the chairlifts, not only do you need the reliability that we've had some issues with during summer operation in the past, but they have new requirements for safety restraint devices, and everything you put on a chairlift has to be engineered and stamped because it's a public,
Right.
tramway system. So the hardware alone to run our chairlifts by code nowadays would be upwards of $50, $60, $70,000. So
How often?
that would be probably a one-time payment, to get that hardware installed. But
Okay.
to pay that off from mountain bike ticket sales is going to be really difficult with the infrastructure we have now in terms of trails and everything.
So what you're saying is you need an operator? Is that what that means?
We need, well, that's where the shuttles came in. How else can we get people to the top without using our chairlifts? So that's where the idea came from, and that was something that was learned actually only a couple months back of, chairlifts aren't an option for us this summer. So that's where we came up with the shuttle idea. Hopefully there's pictures posted online from last week, but we came up with a really cool idea of having an industrial trailer, which we actually had on site. We revamped everything on it. Replaced just about everything from top to bottom, and then we fabricated 3 rows of benches up front, holds 5 people on each bench, and then behind that is 2 rows of bike racks, and those run, end to end essentially. So you load the bikes from the sides of the trailer on the back half, and they actually hold 7 bikes on each side, kind of hanging vertically a little bit with the handlebars cocked at about 45 degrees. So they're not.
You're just like rambling through this. So awesome.
Yeah,
dude.
it's
so awesome.
It is badass. I'm not
it's
gonna
working,
lie.
bro. It's gonna work.
It's gonna work.
It
Yep.
took time to think about all this,
Yep.
but it was just an idea. And now it's a trailer
Yep.
at the mountain.
Yep.
Like you can drive over there and take it up the mountain.
Yep. You just hook it up to a big old truck and tow her on up.
And
So
that terrain has been covered. That's another thing I want to talk about is the work that Liam has done on the trail.
yeah.
Because
Yep. Big shout out Liam O'Connor, unpaid intern here from Northern, Parks and Rec guy. Outdoor recreation. If anyone's hiring, this is your man. He's a hard worker.
rides a hardtail,
Rides a hardtail.
refuses to
shreds
buy a
it.
vehicle.
Yep.
Awesome dude.
Yep, he's awesome. So he's working 40 hours a week for us right now as an unpaid intern, which, I did kind of have to rope him in. He's one of my best friends, and it's really cool to have him as part of this movement, if you will, at the ski hill for, not only, we've had trails and we've had, there's about 5 trails that we're are existing that we've revamped a little bit, but they needed some love. They needed to be cleaned up. We needed signage.
They
We
really
needed,
did.
the safety needed to be
Yeah.
upgraded, and um, he's really taken the reins and taken control of all that. He just loves building jumps and making new rock rolls, which he's done a little bit of, which is awesome. But he's also, put up signs and raked sand and, done the things that I need him to do in order for us to have a successful bike park.
Yeah.
Not necessarily things that he's interested in, but he's been a huge team player
A
for us.
bike park
Yep.
in Marquette, Michigan.
Yep.
Just the sounds of that, man.
Yep.
It's amazing.
Yep, and it's
This is
sustainable.
just
I
what we
mean,
needed.
that's the cool part is we have the ability to expand on what we have. Assuming that the community and everybody comes out the way that we hope they will this summer. This is really our proving grounds this summer, to prove the business and to expand on it. And the end goal is to get back to the chairlift game.
Right.
It
Right.
would be awesome to afford that hardware that we need.
Right.
And
This is proving ground.
exactly.
And then next year, 2020, home run, baby.
Yep. New trail, new ways of getting to the top. Maybe another shuttle, maybe two, maybe a chairlift. Who knows at that point, depending
Right.
on how successful
Yellow
we are.
Trail
But
will be completely done. It is done, but it'll be tuned.
yep. And that just wraps around the back of the ski hill there, that yellow trail.
And this becomes some of the best mountain biking in the Midwest.
Yeah, absolutely.
Hands
And
down.
it's cool stuff.
Best mountain biking in the Midwest. Right now, number 2 in Michigan.
Sure.
Next to Copper Harbor. That
Yep.
we might be given a run.
Yeah, we could. We definitely could. We need a little more beginner opportunity, and that's something we're going to try to work on. We actually just hiked the hill with Mike Burnett yesterday.
Mike B.
Yep.
On Benson.
Exactly.
Top of Bertha.
Yeah, we called him the pro, and we said, Mikey, you know the ski hill well. You've put in a lot of time out here. What do you think about this area? And actually, we ended up going to Plan B. The first area we looked at down our current terrain park in the wintertime. A little too steep, a little too wet yet. So we shifted focus over to the east side of the ski hill, and I think we found a new route for what we hope to have as a beginner run by the end of the season. So that'll be
Serious? So no
Yeah.
more Easy Rider,
well. Easy Rider will still be there, but Easy Rider isn't
That's
that
what
easy.
I'm saying.
Yeah, exactly.
right? You might have to rename it.
Yeah, we might. Intermediate
know,
Rider, huh?
Intermediate Rider. Something cooler than that.
Yeah,
but
probably.
yeah, maybe modest.
Yeah.
Modest.
Modest
something.
Mouse, huh?
Nah, I don't like that. No.
all right,
Mouse is
Working
But-
title.
working title. That's sick.
Yeah, it's good stuff. So that'll be progress. That'll open the door to a lot more people and families and people coming in at Rippling River. I mean, that whole area is just
I knew you were gonna say that.
it's so beautiful. It's so cool to be a part of, watching the trailhead and the
There's rock
campground
climbing
and
on the backside.
Yep.
You know this.
Yep.
There's rock climbing.
It's a recreation hub. I mean, that area of town is just, and Marquette in general has recreation all over, but that spot in the city limits is just like a dream come true for me personally, but also just our community. I mean, what we have available to us right there. I mean, yesterday, a bunch of geologists showed up wanting to get on the hill to look at some rock formations that only exist on Marquette Mountain and nowhere else in, I think, the Midwest or anywhere for that matter has what we have. We kind of talked about them maybe going up Mount Marquette or across the street, and they're like, we've been coming here for 10, 15 years, and there's these handful of rocks on your hill that are incredibly unique for us. So that's just another example of how special
Very special.
that piece of property
this
is.
area. Yeah, in that area specifically, within is amazing. Like off the back side of that, when you're looking off the back side towards Gwynn,
Yeah.
oh my god,
There's nothing. I mean,
it's amazing.
beautiful.
It's amazing, and that's just outside of town. Just outside of town. You clock it like 5 minutes.
Yep, about 3 miles from downtown, 2
Yep.
miles. I mean, city limits are
To
at the base
seventh,
of our hill.
Grove to 7th. Boom,
Yep,
you're in.
yep.
It's quite, man. We shouldn't even be talking about it. You know what I mean? Because it's just going to get so crowded. I think a lot of locals do have that concern where it might not be as sacred if all these people come.
Here's the thing, though, is I grew up in Traverse City, and I watched kind of tourism almost ruin that area. Not
Yeah,
gonna lie,
man.
and it just took away a little bit of the
The
special
magic.
edge. But I must say, Marquette is set up to never have quite that problem, and I think some level of growth and some level of tourism. Tourism is the most sustainable economy you could ever ask for, and
Dude,
we
Puerto
as-
Rico? Puerto Rico doesn't have like education fees because of tourism.
Sure. Yep.
They don't have to pay for college.
Yep.
They don't have to,
And what a value to us. I mean, hopefully you and I get to take a couple shuttle laps today because of the tourists that come and actually, from a ski hill
feed that
standpoint,
place.
exactly.
They
If you're a
feed
season
this.
pass holder at Marquette Mountain, you're paying in your couple hundred, $300, whatever it is, but the bills are being paid by the people coming from out of town, the racers and everything. So, if you want your season pass at a reasonable price, you want the ski hill, you have to support those tourists. You have to support those people from out of town. You've got to spread the good word. And, if that area becomes more busy, great.
Amen, brother.
And Mike Burnett
I'm
will
glad
keep
I
building
said it.
trail,
You know what I mean? I'm glad I said that.
The NTN
for
will
real.
be getting more memberships, and Rippling River will keep expanding. And these are all good things. I mean, for development, how awesome is Rippling River
Yeah.
in terms of buying a piece of property from the city, and for what could have gone there.
Yeah.
We're so lucky that it's
A camp.
a campground that's done right. For a UP campground, you never know what
Yeah.
you're gonna get, and they spared no expense, and they
Seriously,
did it right.
it's
So
done right. That's a great way to look at it. I don't think enough locals have taken the time to consider that.
sure,
That's amazing. I hadn't.
yeah,
I was always under the locals only, bruh.
yep,
Locals only. And I
Yep.
take that mentality.
yeah.
Um,
We wouldn't have 100 miles
right
of
away.
single track here if it weren't for the out of town financing essentially
truth.
that goes to that.
Same thing with restaurants. Same thing with coffee shops. Same thing with gyms. It doesn't matter. And gyms are a little bit more residential.
Sure.
But the whole entertainment industry,
Yep.
Marquette never had the Marquette industry or the entertainment industry that it does now, and that shit's only gonna get bigger.
And what an asset for us locals, right? I mean, we love it. I mean, what you and I like to do is the same thing. And how awesome is it that we have that resource available to us?
We have every resource we need, and I think music's coming.
Yep. I hope so. And I hope we could be a part of it at the ski hill.
Wow. Imagine that.
I think.
Do you remember DTE Energy by chance?
I've been there once, yeah,
Right?
downstate.
I'm from I was 5 minutes away. I used to be able to walk there.
Yep.
Shout out Clarkston, Michigan. So I used to be able to walk there from my house. I used to ride my bike to concerts all the time.
Yeah.
And there's something so cool about that.
Yeah.
To go to a concert, a big venue. It was at where I skied. I love to snowboard. I snowboarded as a kid, 6 to now, so forever. And I got to go see concerts there.
Yeah.
It was a real venue.
Yep.
All they needed was an investor.
Yep.
DT Energy.
Yep.
Right? That's the electrical company. That would be like Marquette Borderlight and Power sponsoring a giant stadium to be placed at Marquette Mountain.
Hey, you're onto something, huh?
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Yep.
That's huge.
Yep. And we've got some ideas with that. We gotta
We're talking about an outdoor stadium.
not just a stage in the Bunny Hill to sit on, but you're talking
Harbor
terrace.
Fest? Like multiply that by 10 or 20.
Okay. All right. You're
You know?
dreaming big. I like it.
Sure. Dude, think of 10 years.
Yep.
Well,
Well, and
it
that's
doesn't
the
even matter if all the people leave in the winter, which is kind of what happens because it gets so damn cold. That's when we're like locals only,
Right.
Yep. But if it gets like that, even if they're just coming in the summer, there will be enough of them to support something like that.
Sure.
10 years.
Yep. And that's the type of energy we need in the summertime, and we're moving in that direction. It's got to be sustainable. One or two bad events to that size could really hurt us and prohibit us from pursuing that in the future. So we really have to be smart about it. We have to plan ahead. Again, we have limited resources that we need to prioritize. But that is huge on our radar right now is our potential concert offerings and what we can do to be a community hub is a big focus of mine.
Yeah,
Because
man.
what an awesome piece of land. The lodge that we have is really underutilized in the summertime. So, what can we do to get the community to come out?
Get the most out of it.
Yeah,
Right?
absolutely.
Get the most. You got the T-bar,
Yep.
right? That could be kicking. Get some kick-ass wings or something. Something that everybody loves. Always, where to get the wings. Get the wings at the T-bar.
We got good wings. I mean, if you're bringing up wings, you're going to have to stop by after your shuttle ride today and get some wings.
I don't know about no wings tonight, but we'll have to see.
Yeah.
Like just something that makes something stand out. That's
Yep.
Well,
and we're looking for the energy. I mean, what my focus is with the T-bar is just focusing on what we know how to do, which is, your basic foods, drinks, good vibes, stuff like that.
all your food groups.
All your food groups, yeah, deep fried everything, pizza and burgers, all your good stuff.
Yeah.
but also, being the hub of recreation. So we actually have a little retail area now for mountain bike stuff. So spare tubes, tires, we got service station, pumps, bike stand, bike wash station.
See?
We call ourselves the trail bar in the summertime. So instead of the T bar in the winter, trail bar. So really trying to focus on the mountain bike community that we have all around us. And
That's pretty legit.
yeah.
That after you finish a Benson lap, you can cruise down and grab some food. That's
Yep.
pretty legit.
Yep. Yeah. Hang out with the homies down there. It's hard because it's a little bit farther than the trails. By a little bit, I mean like a quarter mile. But people just you stop driving before you hit the mountain. So I think it's out of sight, out of mind for a lot of
Yeah.
people. But
Yeah.
just I mean, it's crazy what I've been seeing this season alone with
Come
the
down.
shuttles and the
Yeah.
energy is different. People are showing up. Volleyball is another huge one. That's awesome. I mean,
Yeah.
how cool to see hundreds of people coming out who I don't see otherwise. Maybe they're not skiers, maybe they're not mountain bikers. Different faces all together coming to recreate at Marquette Mountain, and
Dude,
that's the name of the game
it's
is
a big
recreation.
thing.
Mm-hmm.
Volleyball and softball
Yep.
are two older adult activities
Mm-hmm.
or young people who want to get after it.
It's the teams. I mean,
It's like,
it's the community side of it. It's
yeah,
being with your group of friends every week. I mean, people love it, and how cool is that? I mean, really, to go hit a ball around
it can
the
be as
sport
hard.
itself is
Yeah.
not that awesome, but it's the
What are you talking about, Andrew Farron? What?
hey, you know what? I love myself some beach volleyball. Don't
Sure.
get me wrong, but it's more about the people you're with, the laughter.
Man.
Getting your face full of sand. That's what is magical about it, and people love it, and it's really cool to see. And I'm glad we can support it.
Yeah, and the cool thing with those sports too is like you can show up and it can be exactly what it needs to be.
Mm-hmm.
It can be as intense.
Mm-hmm.
If you want it to be intense, it can be intense.
Mm-hmm.
You want it to be
Just a game
relaxed, it can be
fucker.
relaxed. You can do whatever you want.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So that's cool that people can come down and recreate in a different way.
Yeah.
Because what they got like one net at the beaches.
Yeah, something like that. Yep. So we've got four courts set up. They're open to the public.
Yeah.
Tuesday, Wednesday is our league night. So they're pretty booked up for that. But we do encourage drop-in games. Any other day of the week or Saturdays for that matter.
Yeah.
People coming down, and we'd like to organize maybe a little drop-in tournament or something as well this summer. So. More to come on that. It's a really fun activity. It's volleyball. It's anyone can play. You just hit the dang ball and enjoy yourself. So
Yeah.
it's pretty cool.
Right on. I've never been one for playing with balls.
No, never been a ball sports guy.
Never been a ball sports guy
No.
ever in my life.
Just more of a wrestler.
Well, it was either handlebars, standing sideways,
Mhm.
or grappling.
Mm-hmm. Sure. Yeah.
It pretty much
Not
breaks
too
down
shabby.
breaks down to that. If I'm standing sideways, pretty comfortable.
Sure.
If I'm handlebars in my hand,
Mm-hmm.
feeling pretty comfortable.
Mm-hmm.
Feeling ready to take on some shit.
Yep.
And grappling.
Yeah. Throwing someone to the ground.
We'll just grab and hold of somebody
Sure.
and see what happens.
Yep. I want to take this humor somewhere else, but yeah. Anyway, a little ball sport associated with that, but
Yeah.
hey.
It's a cool thing.
It is cool, yeah. And I've seen your medals, man. You're pretty successful, in what you do, and that's on all facets. I think we've snowboarded together, we've ridden bikes together. We'll hopefully touch on that a little bit, doing the Start the Cycle program, which is how we met.
And we'll
and
wrestle later.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. We haven't wrestled yet. There's a reason. Yeah,
But-
I'm gonna stand clear of that for
Dude,
now.
jiu-jitsu is something else.
Yeah.
Jiu-jitsu is something that anybody can do.
Sure.
Anybody, any skill, size, shape, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
I know you get your hands full in the winter, but as far as when you're not snowboarding, that could be a game changer. You know what
Sure.
I mean? A real game changer.
Interesting.
I've
Mhm.
seen that be a real enjoyable source of exercise for a lot of different men and women
Mm-hmm.
and kids,
Yeah, kids. Yep.
all
yeah.
ages.
Yep.
People start when they're 60 years old.
Sure.
Mm-hmm. It's pretty cool.
Yep. So anything else we want to touch on regarding the ski hill? I guess just a little background for the listeners. I started there early February. Took over. It was kind of a little bit of a crazy season. We had management change middle of last spring, and it just didn't quite grab on the way that I think everyone was hoping. And I saw an opportunity, quit my job as a mechanical engineer, and went for it. So I dove in middle of February, middle of the busy season.
Took that leap, baby.
Took that leap.
Took that leap.
Yep, hopped on in. We got 7 feet of snow that month right after I started. So that was a very warm welcome to the ski community. And
It was a sign.
it was a
It was
sign.
sign.
It was so
That
much
things,
fun.
the
Mhm.
stars did align.
Yep. Yeah, it was that was magical. It was crazy. What a dream. But yep. So now we're just getting into summer operations, trying a couple new things, and trying to focus on next ski season as well. We've got some infrastructure that's aging out there. A lot of improvements being made, and that's something I should really touch on real quick while we're at it. Chairlifts, our chairs are from the 70s. They've been relocated from ski hills out west, like most Midwest ski resorts are. And,
It's
maintenance,
fascinating.
yeah, it's actually pretty cool that, we've got shorter runs, so they take a chair from out west and take a couple towers out and plop it on our hill. Um, we're in the middle of deep diving. We've got a couple guys that just graduated from a 3-week chairlift school program. One of them actually graduated a 2-year associates from Gogebic for ski area management. Very hands-on, very tech savvy. They're diving into them. We really got some making up to do, to be honest, and just getting things cleaned up. I mean, the safety features on them are just out of this world. You wouldn't believe how many ways those things will stop to protect the passengers. So there's really no concern on the safety side. It's the reliability that I'm most concerned of, and just keeping things in good shape moving forward.
Yeah.
So we're making a lot of progress with that, and also our snowmaking system. We had a pretty rough fall last year with pipes being burst and,
Oh
and
yeah.
pumps leaking.
Stepping right
And,
in. I remember that.
yep. So luckily that was before my time. Yeah, I didn't have to deal with that yet. I'm sure we'll
But
have
you
some
kind of had to
hiccups,
step into
but
the aftermath of it.
well, yeah, we were
A lot
about
of people
done.
were talking about it,
Sure. Yep. Yeah.
right?
The negativity was pretty far out before I started. Anyhow, there's tons of support when I took over, which I can't be more happy with, and I'm just so thankful for the community support with that transition. But anyway, brand new pumps coming. We're actually doing new pump houses, so a whole new structures. New piping across the base, new valving and everything, so we can isolate different problematic areas if and when we have them. Um, it's going to be a game changer. We're going to have snow on the hill way earlier than we have. We're going to be done making snow earlier, and we're going to have a better product. The snow itself is going to be better. So we are excited. We got new lighting last year.
With conviction. With conviction,
Seriously.
it will be
It
better.
will be better. Yep, hands
That's
down.
awesome, dude.
Yeah.
I'm stoked.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. And again, that's kind of my background too. So it's something I personally and am really excited about, but also am pretty responsible for, and I'm confident that we can pull this off. And we're trying to do a lot this summer, but it's going to set us up to be a darn good ski hill.
Yeah.
And we haven't had all those strengths at once in many years.
Sounds like it's been a while.
Yep. Yeah. From what I understand, yeah, it's been kind of on the down and out for a little while, and I really think this is nearing the end of the reinvestment period, if you
Yeah.
will.
People will no longer talk shit about Marquette Mountain.
Yeah,
Especially
not
not
as
the
much.
management. The management is just on point.
Yeah, thanks,
To be
bud.
fair.
Appreciate it.
No, you did a lot, man. You did a lot, and to quit your job as a mechanical engineer, I think that says something about where your intentions are
Sure.
and where they're coming from.
Yep. I mean, and this
Because
is
you had everything, you had it kind of figured
I had
out.
I had a good gig going on, definitely. That working that 9 to 5, go home, kind of leave it at work, and do my own thing.
Mm-hmm.
There's something special about caring about what you're doing, and really having that passion. It's a whole nother level. I mean, I'm surrounding myself with my hobbies of snowboarding and mountain biking, and being around other people who enjoy doing that too. And even watching people play volleyball, it's just such a cool feeling. I call it a fun factory out there.
Yeah,
It's my
man.
job to make everybody have fun, and what a cool thing to offer the community.
And when things level out, it's like a dream come true.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
It will be a dream come true. Because imagine sitting yourself down in high school and saying, this is what you're going to do with your life. Would you ever guess that you're going to be running a ski hill? What would the high school version of you think about that?
Honestly, I probably could have seen this coming, to be honest. I grew up pretty much at the base of a city-owned ski hill in Traverse City, Hickory Hills, all tow ropes, and just lived there. And I always
Just live there.
Oh, I did.
The
Yeah,
French
every
fries and
day.
all, dude.
Uh-huh. Yeah, we had little microwave pizzas actually, is what I lived on. But anyway, I would always tell my friends, if I could build this terrain park, this is how I would do it, and
Yeah.
so on and so forth. And
But a lot of people say that.
no, but I felt it. I mean, I totally always had a vision of having a tow rope in my backyard or something of that matter, and that never went away. Going through college and everything, and mechanical engineering. I'm looking at an old dirt
Ramps.
bike or something that you can hook a rope up to the back tire and let her rip and get you up the hill. And
Yeah.
yeah, exactly. So this dream has been alive and well in me for a long time.
Wow. But it took, how old are you?
28.
28 years to unfold.
Sure. And it had to happen the way it did. I mean, I had to go to college. I had to get my engineering degree. I had to be an engineer. I had to follow my wife around as she went through
Yeah.
her PhD.
Yeah.
And there was a lot of routes that and avenues that we took to get where we are, but it all had to happen in that order in order to work.
Right.
So
Everything had to be exactly how it was to get you to the point where
yep.
you're at right now. That's
Yep.
amazing.
Yeah, and what a cool opportunity. I mean, I'm just so grateful, and it's a huge responsibility. My life's kind of changed a little bit, and again, my wife, she's just the greatest, but she's really been holding things together really well for
Yeah.
us, and how I'm just so darn grateful for the opportunity, and I plan on doing this as long as I possibly can.
But it's not always easy.
No,
It's not always
it's
easy,
not.
and it wasn't always easy to see.
Right.
Right? We're talking about all the stars did align, woo woo, right? Well, there's some like tough times
Definitely.
where you had to
Definitely.
bust ass
Definitely.
and you had to grind.
Yep. And the negatives really bring out the positives. I mean,
You have to grind.
if
It's not like had to, it's the work's done. It doesn't end.
Yep. And it takes discontent in order to make the big change. I mean, to be honest, my engineering career, it was great, but there were days where I knew that wasn't satisfying me. You know
Right.
what I mean? There were days where I had it all, and I felt like I had nothing, and that feeling really bothered me. And that's ultimately what encouraged me to take this leap and approach the owner directly and to take the dive. And
Yeah,
and
man.
it takes the downs in order to take advantage of the ups.
Right? That small emptiness inside you that keeps whispering, "Hey, man, you're built for more than this.
Sure.
Like you can do better. You can do better." But it's just as easy to stuff that away, just to look away from it. Hey, you shut up, we
Yeah.
got enough money,
You should be
go
happy.
go have a big meal. You know what I
Yep.
mean? Go do something, go spend
Go
some
buy a
money.
new
Go
bike.
take a vacation.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Go run away somewhere.
Sure.
Feel better about this. Feel
Yep.
good about yourself in the
Yep.
Bahamas.
Yep. And it's
You know what I
okay
mean?
to not feel okay. I mean, that's another thing that, it's
Yeah, that
that's
stress.
that's an all right feeling to have. It's discontent is again what causes greatness, honestly. And not everybody is going to be able to get their dream job and this and that, but it's okay to not be content with where you're at. And
Right.
you can't fight the feeling. The harder you fight, the harder or the deeper it goes. And
Yeah.
you got to just recognize it and figure out a way to make it really change.
One step at a time. Right. Because doing the whole dive thing, sure, you talked to the owner, like that was a big step, but to do it all at once, it almost never works.
Yeah,
Almost never works. It
Nope.
has to be like an, a fine tuning of things
Definitely.
over a period of time, like
Yep.
a strategic approach rather than trying to overhaul how you think about life and everything all at once because that will fade.
Yep.
That will fade
Yep.
quickly.
And your plan will change. You'll
Yeah.
you'll think you'll have it in this
Changes day to
direction,
day.
and something will happen, and you gotta revert a little bit. So, yep.
Consistency. Yeah. The consistent worker that shows up every day with that goofy grin on his face. That's who gets the job done,
Yep.
right?
Absolutely.
Not the person who's busting ass and all serious about what they're doing 100% of the time, shows up half the time.
Sure. Yep.
Takes a day off. Asks for a day off.
Yep.
Gets
Gotta
sick.
be on it every day. That's right.
Show up with the goofy grin. Be willing to learn. Be willing to ask questions.
Yeah. Willing to grow, and that's,
Yeah.
I guess, there's room for improvement no matter what you're doing. And again, it's, contentment to me is, it'd be nice, at the same time, I kind of wish I could be more at peace with things the way they are or whatever. But, to me, it's almost dangerous, if you get too comfortable or
Sure.
you really trick yourself into
Sure.
thinking,
That you got it made, man.
yep,
You got it made.
this
Well,
is
that's when
this
it
is
all
the
comes
end.
crashing down,
Sure.
right? When you think, because you as the creator put that out there that you think you got it figured out. Well, there's going to have to be something that shows you that you don't,
Yep.
because you
Yep.
never do.
I know.
And
And
you never can.
and on that note, I almost think I'm at the point where I've got it figured out, right? I'm managing a ski hill and life's good, living in Marquette, Michigan. No complaints, but any day things can change, the economy could take a turn. Someone could get seriously hurt on the hill and
You never know.
you never know. And you got to be prepared for it and I guess do everything you can to minimize your risks and everything, but yeah, you got to just I don't know, be ready to roll with the punches.
It's right. You never know. Something that resonates on this note that I actually heard on a Ram Dass podcast. He pulled from literature from somewhere. Can't quote it directly, but it's a story about a man with a horse, right?
Okay.
The man with the horse has a neighbor, right? And one day the horse runs away, gets free from the pen, and the neighbor says, "Oh, how unfortunate that is." And the man says, "Well, you never know." Next day, the horse comes back with 2 stallions following it, right? The neighbor says, "Oh, wow, how fortunate you are." The man says, "Well, you never know." Next day, the man's son, was training the horses, fell off, broke his leg. The man says, "Oh, the neighbor says, unfortunate, how unfortunate that is." The man says, "Never know." Next day, the military comes to the door, knocking on the door, recruiting for the war. Needs the son. Son's got a broken leg, can't go off to war. The neighbor says, "How fortunate you are." And the man says,
Never know.
"You never know." And that's just it.
Yep.
Right?
Yep.
And I think what you said is profound, because contentment isn't a bad. We think contentment, we think complacent. I think those are 2 different things.
Sure. Yep.
Right? Content and complacent, there's a difference, but we tie those together. And that's interesting. I don't think it's helpful to tie those together.
Right.
Because contentment is healthy.
Right.
Right?
Yeah.
It's like a rewarding, a satisfied,
Yep.
a fulfilledness.
Yeah, gratefulness.
A
Yep.
fulfilled, a grateful. And there's a different tone to that than complacency.
Which is almost laziness or, no longer keeping your eyes open to other opportunities and being aware of your surroundings.
Shut down. Right?
Yeah.
One-track minded.
Yep. That's very, very well said. Yep. And you got to have a little bit of both. There's a healthy level to both, and you've got to be happy with whatever life throws your way, because whether it's good or bad, there's something on the other side. And
I believe it's called a dichotomy.
okay,
Is it?
all right.
I've heard that word recently.
I'm an engineer. I don't know these big words.
Dichotomy. It's like it requires balance. There's the yin to the yang.
Yep, that makes sense. Di means two. I
2.
know that.
There we go. Okay, we might be onto something. Maybe not.
I buy it. So.
Yeah.
Cool. Well, that's a little bit of the background here. Why don't we talk a little bit about our history, you and I, and
man.
when we met and where we've come from there, and
Yeah, man.
now sitting in your living room chatting away.
Right? Isn't that something? Boom.
It's crazy.
Here we are.
Yep.
Yeah, that was quite the story. Inspirational. Inspirational.
Yep.
To see, I mean, this is interesting. You may not remember, but the first night of Start the Cycle, we sat next to each other.
This is last April, right?
Yep, that was the first time I ever saw you
Yep.
in person.
Sure.
Right?
Yeah, I don't think we'd met before.
Never met before. And we sat next to each other.
We were both probably the youngest.
That's
some of the
profound to
youngest
me. We didn't have
mentors.
children. We didn't have children in the program. Start the Cycle is a great nonprofit bike program that we volunteer as mentors, right? And we were in the mentor meeting, and I was just getting kind of trained in, and ended up working with the kids for the preseason dryland workouts, right? So basically, before they get on the bikes, let's just get them together. Let's get them talking. Let's get them having fun together. Let's do some icebreakers. Get to know one another, right? That was kind of my reason for being there.
Yeah, and you took full charge of that, so you were the leader of that, indoor workout anyhow, the physical side of things and the team building side of things. So
And doing that, I had no idea what I was getting myself into. You know what I mean? I went to the meeting with a Microsoft Word page that I had
Sure.
typed out, one page with just some ideas.
So that was your first start the cycle experience too, then last spring.
Correct.
Okay, yeah, mine as well.
Right.
Yep.
So that's ironic. One thing I noticed was your wedding ring, and I was like, who is this dude? What is he doing here?
Mm-hmm.
And I just kind of, but then through the workouts and then through talking more to you about, oh, this guy can actually ride a bike. I think that's the first thing I noticed. As I was like, this kid can jump. This kid, he can ride a bike.
Mm-hmm.
He's not just like along for the cross country ride.
Sure.
He's a
Yeah.
shredder.
And I wanted to share that stoke with the kids. I mean, that's why I was there.
Yep.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So that's what I noticed for the first few interactions. And I think you did the workouts with the kids.
Yep.
And then we didn't speak for the entire fall.
Not much. No, after
Right.
after start the cycle, you mean?
After Start the Cycle had concluded, they ran the race.
After some of the indoor workouts, I remember planting the seed with you, being like, "Yeah, man, I know you're a personal trainer. Maybe I'd really like to work out a little bit this winter. When
Yeah.
when I'm not on my bike, I kind of
Yep.
hit a lull a little bit in the long winters around here, and I'd love to work out with you. I think that'd be really great for me." And that was the end of it. And
It was.
6 months later
For months,
passed, and
right?
it's late fall, getting into early winter potentially, and I don't know where we ran into each other, but you totally square me up and say, "So how about working out?"
Yep. You ready?
You didn't forget, and I was looking for excuses. Oh, I don't know. I'm working a lot, and I can
You
work
got
out
it.
on my
You
own.
got a
I
lot,
know
yeah.
how to do push-ups and sit-ups, and I don't know, but you kind of stayed on me, and you held me accountable from day one, and that was the biggest thing that I needed at the time, anyhow. Was there's always an excuse of why not to do it, and most of them don't mean anything. Most of them are totally just figments of your imagination. You're looking for the easy way out, and um, that's always been me with working out, for that matter. Is just I always expect to kind of just get the workout by biking or snowboarding or whatever, but it's
Yeah.
really easy, especially as you go into adulthood, to not get the number of hours a week that you need to be doing these hobbies in order to actually get the workout and
Proficiency.
exactly. Yep. So I kind of finally had to admit to myself that I need some help. I need someone to hold me accountable.
Yep.
I need schedule, I need routine, and I need to maximize the time that I have available, to make sure I'm utilizing it as safely and effectively as possible. And that's where you came in, and
Safe and effective.
Sure.
Those are probably my two favorite words when it comes to training. Is safe and effective.
hmm
First, safe. Second, effective. Two main priorities. And you did it. You showed up for about 12 weeks,
Yep,
and you can see a big difference
definitely.
in 12 weeks. And
Yeah.
I think there's a lot to be said for that first time through the door. And like you said, um, putting it in somebody else's hands,
Mm-hmm.
right? Because as a man, you like to think, man, I got this.
Yeah.
I went to gym, but the issue is we don't learn these things through school. Where do you expect to learn
Mm-hmm.
how to use a barbell?
Yep. And actually, I had learned. I had a weights and conditioning class in high school, and went through it and whatever. But I wasn't into it. I wasn't
Exactly.
invested. I didn't really care, and then I didn't continue doing it. And
It's like you think about the experiences you have with exercise, like where do these come from,
mm-hmm.
right? The only reason that I do what I do is because of wrestling,
Yep.
right? Wrestling got my foot through the door when it came to getting in shape, and then it was on me to find what works,
Sure.
what is effective.
Mm-hmm.
And I had to twiddle my thumbs for 3 years doing just outrageous workouts for in high school until I kind of grasp an idea, and then another 3 years goes by,
Yep.
and you find a whole new approach, and you're like, wow, and now after 2 cycles of that, I feel open
Sure.
to understanding new techniques, new
Mm-hmm.
disciplines,
Yeah.
new styles of exercise that could
Yeah.
prove to be effective, but I will not employ them
Mm-hmm.
until
They're
I've done
proven.
them.
Yeah. Yep.
I refuse.
Yep. And you're dialed. I mean, watching you do your thing, and what's crazy is knowing two things that I'm impressed with. One is the duration of time that we have. So we do hour workouts. And never have I felt like we were trying to rush to finish anything, and never did I feel like I got gypped and only did 50 minutes worth of workouts. And
Yep.
you had pre-listed everything, so it's not like you're making things up at the end to kind of make it last longer. It's like we have this list already written down, and we're chipping away at it. And it was exactly an hour every time, and that was incredible for one. And two, the weights that you put on, and I don't think you really wrote down much for me as we went. We did a couple days of
We
milestone
did some
checking, and
testing,
yeah,
right?
but in general, you just kind of knew what my strengths were and what weights were appropriate, at the
Correct.
time. And
Correct.
very rarely did I feel like they were over or under where they should have been. And
Right.
that's experience. That doesn't just happen. You know a lot about working out.
How the body works and how the body looks when it is under stress,
Mhm.
right? And getting tuned into what's going on with each body part,
Mhm.
where your tension should be, where your mobility is lacking, where your strength is lacking, and then fine tuning,
Mhm.
right? But that is nothing that you can read in a book.
Right.
You have to watch bodies move.
Yep.
And it's as simple as that. You have to start with your own. You have to start with your own body.
Mhm.
Throw some shit around,
Mhm.
do some
See how it
lift some
feels.
weights, if something feels clunky, ditch it or modify it,
Mhm.
right? If you
Yep.
see it, and then you can see where it feels clunky in other people's bodies.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, that doesn't look, it's not working.
Yeah. Well,
And
you
then
you understand the holistic approach though. You understand, not only, deadlifts and like your grunt work type of stuff, but you know the yoga side really well. I mean, you're a yoga instructor. You know how bodies are supposed to stretch and move and stay fluid, and then you also know, the wrestling side. You know adults, you know kids, and you know the nutritional side too, which is something that I think everybody could improve upon, no matter where they're at in life. But for you, it's your lifestyle. So for me, skiing, snowboarding, running a ski hill, dream job. For you, your dream job is doing what you're doing. I mean, a
it
health
truly
coach,
is,
a strength coach,
truly.
and you live it, you eat it, you breathe it, and that's why you're so good at what you do. And
Jeez, Andrew, you said it. Thank you.
yeah, man, no
Thank you for
problem. I
saying it.
mean, you radiate it. It's
Right.
something that's so obvious, and that's why you're good at what you do, because that is you. That's what you do.
I'm unity.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Unity, human performance. I named it that for a reason. It's like the unity of mind, body, and spirit. It's only attainable through some real discipline,
Sure.
right?
That spirit side, man, that's something I'm still a little interested in. We should,
It's very
I
interesting.
remember one of the days I came over, I wasn't feeling good. I don't know. It was soon after I started at the ski hill. Um, I had taken a little break from working out. I was, working 80-hour weeks for the first month or two.
You're grinding.
Just in it, and I couldn't get my head away from it, and
So yeah.
I needed a break. And I came over and I was like, you know what, Connor, I think you had a workout scheduled for me, but I don't feel strong. I don't feel that healthy. I just need a little TLC, man. And we kind of did a little bit of a meditation. That was my first time ever really experimenting in that realm, and it sure felt good. I'll tell you what. I mean, to get my mind off of what had 24/7 been going through it was such a treat, and just a weight was lifted. And that's, that was about my only experience. I haven't done much since, and sometimes exercise kind of gives me that same benefit,
Hmm.
but that's really interesting to me, and that's something that I would like to pursue a little bit more with you, down the
Yeah.
road, is
Yeah.
the meditation, the mental side of things
Sh-
specifically.
Right.
Hmm.
That is the root.
Sure.
Right. That is the root. It's really hard to have a healthy mind without a healthy body. Right. If
Hmm.
your body's unhealthy, it's really tough to have a healthy mind.
Hmm.
Um, So it can start with the body, and
Hmm.
once you feel really good about your body and you feel like, oh, my skin, I'm in good skin,
Hmm.
I'm in good health,
Hmm.
then you can really start to think about, what is this? Who am I?
Hmm.
Right? Ask some bigger questions.
Sure.
And then that meditation piece, it's not a piece. It is the root.
Hmm.
It is the essential. It is the union,
Sure.
right? It's bringing it all together.
Hmm.
Um, and I have that same curiosity. That's all I can say. Is really I have that same um, questioning, seeking mentality where it's a never-ending pursuit that I'm
Hmm.
willing to take.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, it's fascinating, and it's limitless, and I think there's always room for improvement, but yeah, a lot of people, including myself, focus on the body first, and I think there's some need for that.
Sure.
But the mind is so equally important.
Yes. Starting to learn a little bit more through my own endeavors because we had mentioned before the podcast, like you asked me, like you looked at my eyes and you said, "How are you doing?" Right? And that's a big question because a lot has changed. But I found in my own self because I took basically, I was training a lot of people.
Mm-hmm.
I was working with a lot of people.
Mm-hmm. Is
I
this
was teaching a lot of yoga.
when I was working with you?
Yep. I
Yep.
was training a lot of people. I
You were
was
in
teaching a
school
lot of
still.
yoga. I was finishing my degree
Mm-hmm.
in health and fitness,
You're getting your business
and
off the
I
ground.
was getting my business off the ground,
Yep.
and I was obsessed.
Yeah.
Right, and I became so obsessed with helping others
Mm-hmm.
that I forgot to start, looking in the mirror.
Sure.
You know,
Easy for everybody to do. Yep.
that's something I always did when I was wrestling. As I wake up in the morning, I just look at myself in the mirror. Just look at myself for a good hard stare. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
For a few minutes, like, get uncomfortable. Right?
With yourself.
Yeah.
Yeah.
See what's going on.
Mm-hmm.
And that was something I stopped doing.
Sure.
Right? I've done that a long time
Mm-hmm.
as a disciplinary thing. And when I stopped doing that this winter, something shifted where I wasn't really, tuned in.
Yeah.
And so in the past, month since I've been graduated, which seems like not that much time,
Mm-hmm.
um, I could say I'd never been better.
Sure.
When you say,
Yeah.
"How are you doing?" I never been better
Good.
is my answer.
Yep. And I believe
Um,
it. I totally believe that. I
with,
mean, because you had worked your tail off to set a strong foundation, and I see between school as your foundation, your business as your foundation, those things seem good. It seems like you did those so properly that you can now reap the benefits a little bit. And I hope you're at that point. Now, you're gonna have to keep working, no doubt. And we
always,
always, yeah, exactly.
right?
But
But embracing it with a
yeah.
little bit more charisma, a little bit more excitement, a little bit more. I tried this the other day. Let's give it a shot, kind of thing.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? I felt good about that, and that's kind of what I'm getting at because it was not in the last month. It was not a one day thing where I thought, "Oh, I'm just gonna start putting it all together."
Mm-hmm.
No, no
Mm-hmm.
way.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? It started with me deciding I'm gonna care about what I put in my body
Sure.
every single meal. Just every single meal. And if I'm intentionally going to cheat, better be ready to pay.
Mm-hmm.
Better be ready to pay.
Yep.
Because you notice when you start putting shit in all the time, just a bunch of garbage food,
Mm-hmm.
you start to notice a lot less,
Yeah.
right? And maybe that was where I was getting. Maybe I was like moderate. But when I started taking a cheat meal, when I was eating clean, you notice.
Mm-hmm.
You notice
Sure.
when you poop.
Mm-hmm.
You notice when you wake up.
Mm-hmm.
You notice when you go to bed.
Yeah.
You notice.
I believe it. I've never
So,
eaten 100% clean. Obviously, we try to keep the diet as good as possible. But yeah, I've heard good things. What do you do? What's a clean meal for you then? So chicken,
yeah, like
vegetables,
let's say after
rice.
this, right? After this, I've been farting a lot lately. It's one of the side effects. I think I could probably tone a few things back and be all right.
So they say farts are good though, right? That means good digestion. Maybe they just say that to make you feel
See,
better.
here's the deal. I love hummus. Okay,
Mhm.
I'm crazy about hummus.
Sure.
Put hummus on a lot of different things.
Yep. Chickpeas,
Essentially,
right?
hummus is bean dip.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, exactly. Yep.
It's bean dip. So beans make you too. We all know
Yep.
the song,
Yeah.
right?
Mhm.
Beans, magical
Magical
fruit.
fruit,
The more
man.
you eat, the more you toot.
Yep.
So, a clean meal like after this, before I mountain bike, just get some spring mix, some greens, put them in a bowl, a little bit of Italian, right? It's essentially oil and some spices,
Mhm.
Italian dressing,
Mhm.
um, the good stuff, right? And then putting broccoli, some tomatoes, some like cherry tomatoes,
Mhm.
because you don't have to cut them, and then some
Carbs.
hummus for
Okay.
carbs,
Yep.
and then broccoli's a good source of carbs, and then chicken with hot sauce.
Okay. Mhm.
So it's protein and it's got fat in it because
Yep.
maybe avocado
Yep.
if I'm going to do some biking.
Sure.
Yeah.
Mhm. Rock on.
So that was the first step was the nutrition.
Yeah.
Getting the nutrition dialed in was a game changer. After 2 weeks of that, you start to notice, man, I wake up with more energy. I'm
Yeah.
ready to rock,
Yeah.
especially with coffee. I love coffee. I'm not afraid to admit it.
Mhm.
Start drinking coffee with coconut oil in it, like bulletproof coffee.
I've heard coconut oil veering away from canolas and other things have, I have a friend, a good buddy of mine who's lactose intolerant. I'm lactose intolerant as well. And
Yeah.
I'm still having some issues, even though I've kind of figured that out and gotten rid of it. And that's his next recommendation is coconut oil versus any other oils that you use.
Yep.
And try that out, which I honestly haven't really implemented yet. But it's on my radar. It's something I'd like to keep looking at. But that's interesting. In your coffee, huh?
Are you good, Andrew? You want to keep rolling with this? I just got to pee. Can I take a quick break?
You got a potty break?
Yeah.
Sure.
Keep it rolling.
Yeah, just keep talking a little bit.
Are you good? You want to keep
I'm
going?
good, man. I
Keep
can keep
going.
going. Yeah, I'll just I'll
right.
talk to the
I'll be
people
right
for a
back.
minute. I'll preach.
Give the people what they want.
Yeah. Connor's a good guy. He's over peeing right now. So, yeah, let me talk about my diet a little bit and kind of where I've come from. And to be honest, I still need some help. If anyone out there knows what's going to help me, reach out, get a hold of Connor. He's going to put you in touch with me because lactose intolerance is something I figured out about 2-3 years ago. Ever since I removed that from my diet, things have gotten a lot better. Still wake up in the morning pretty kind of knotted up, just not comfortable, and a lot of times it actually wakes me up before I need to be awoken the last few mornings in particular. And I guess I don't know what else to pursue. I don't think I have a gluten tolerance. Haven't been tested for anything like that, but maybe too much oil in my diet, maybe eating too late in the night, potentially not having enough time to digest, maybe a little more physical activity after eating to help things move before sleep. But that's my biggest problem is the mornings, coming in and waking up not feeling well. And like Connor just said, to start your day not feeling 100% or not having that level of energy, it's a horrible way to start things off. And if I can dial this in, and I got to get better at it. I have to keep trying, eat a little cleaner, maybe try the coconut oil that my buddy recommended. But that is my biggest problem in my life right now, to be honest, is, I feel pretty physically fit. I feel good mentally. I feel like I'm doing the right thing. I'm getting out, taking care of myself, spending good time with friends and family and whatnot. But it's my diet. So that's my personal challenge that I'm up against right now, and it's easy to forget about. And it's hard, day in and day out, like you said, no cheat meals, no anything like that, and being consistent. But I've got a lot of room for improvement when it comes to my gut health. And
I'm back.
He's back.
I'm back.
He's back. He's feeling lighter.
I feel so much better.
I'm just telling the people how my stomach issues, and you and I have talked about
Yeah,
this,
man.
and
Yeah. It was a thing.
yeah, it was a thing, and it hasn't gotten too much better, to tell you the truth.
Yeah.
The no dairy is definitely a huge thing for me.
Yep.
But there's something else. There's something missing, and whether
It's just a man. I'm not a doctor,
Yeah.
right? I'm not, but
Dr.
it could
Connor.
be a nutrient deficiency,
Sure.
right?
Yep.
Just something that you're not thinking of,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah, my mom's a dietitian actually. She's retired now, but
Oh, that's
I
perfect.
got to start working with her a little bit and trying to remove things from my diet, and working with her to figure out what ingredients are in what. So if I'm trying to
Yeah.
be grain free, for example, what is grain in, and
Yeah,
what do I
man.
need to stop eating?
That's
and,
important to go see a dietitian and see what your body
Yep.
needs, because not everybody's the same.
Yeah.
Not everybody's built the same.
Yeah.
Everybody's DNA metabolism works
Sure.
very differently.
Yep.
And so it's not a cookie cutter.
Yeah.
It's not a one size fits all. None of what we talk about is.
Sure.
Not one lifestyle, not one exercise, not one diet is going to fix it. It's a real comprehensive overview of
Yeah.
what you need, right?
Yeah.
And figuring out how, how to balance your lifestyle with the things that you need.
But if I could figure this out, I'll tell you what. I mean, my whole day, just starting out the day feeling better would just change my whole outlook. And
Yeah.
I can't imagine. I mean, it would be night and day different. It would be amazing.
You're not kidding. You know what I mean? That's radiating. It's a light from within you, a lightness. You feel light because you're excited about what's to come.
Yeah. How you
Right?
feel?
Fearless. Right? Fearless. And it's like, it's unstoppable.
Yeah.
It really is. It's like,
Yep.
it's hard to change momentum, right? Once you build some of that momentum, it's hard to slow down. And it can be in two directions. That momentum can carry real fast in a great direction,
Yep.
and you can feel real good about where you're at. And that same momentum can take you backwards just as far, if not further. Right? You start to build that momentum, taking a break. Oh, I'll just take a nap today. Take a nap. I'll lay down,
Yeah.
take a rest,
Yep.
or maybe I'll just, rent a movie tonight.
Oh, it's easy. Yep.
I'll just,
Absolutely.
I'll just go out to dinner, man.
Mm-hmm.
I don't feel like cooking. It's 9 o'clock. It's 9 p.m. I just got home from work.
Oh, that
It's
happens to
9
everybody.
p.m., man.
Yep.
I should just go out,
Get some
I worked
takeout.
hard.
I'll call it in. I'll grab it on the way
Border
home.
Grill's good for you.
Yeah. Right.
Unfortunately, it doesn't work that way.
Yeah.
It really doesn't. And that momentum really does carry
Mm-hmm.
both directions.
Yep. And who
It's,
knows? If you get that energy level up, if your diet's doing good, you get that energy level up, it's going to be easier and easier to cook that meal for yourself when you get home. That's with working
if you did it
out.
last night, what's another night?
Right.
What's another
It's
night?
almost like that vicious circle, and this happens to me with working out is, and I'm guessing diet's the same way once I get this figured out, but the better you feel, the more likely you are to continue doing better at it. So the more you work out, the higher your endorphin levels, the more energy you have, the more likely you are to work out. And the reverse side is really dangerous, and that's what a lot of people fall into is, man, I'm too tired to work out today. Like, I'm just not feeling it. I don't feel great. Well, that's because you didn't work out yesterday, or it totally, when you get that momentum that you're talking about, it just picks you right up to the next level. And,
Yep.
and it's no longer a chore. It's something you want to do. And
Yep.
it's incredible. And it's something
Yeah.
that I think, me personally, we could all do better at,
Yep.
and
All of us could. Right? Yep. Unity is combining all those things as well, right? Because if we're not doing one thing, it's hard to do another. If you eat like shit and you try to work out real hard, it
Right.
doesn't work.
no,
It doesn't.
it's not a good experience.
And sometimes it just brought to my mind like it's a chore all of a sudden. When you ate like shit, it feels better to just lay down.
Definitely.
Well, no doubt, you put garbage in your body, it's gonna have
Yeah.
to take care of
Yeah,
it.
you better get horizontal for a little bit.
Yeah, it's gonna have to take care of that.
Yep.
Digestion. This is just a quick tip. Digestion takes place better in a vertical torso.
Sure.
So
And
that's a good time to sit down.
you were in the bathroom when I mentioned it, but that's something I think might be related to my stomach issues. Is working long days. My wife works till 8 o'clock, typically as well. So a lot of times we're not eating dinner till 8:30, 9 o'clock, and then bed soon after that. And I think my problems that I'm having are more in the morning time, and I think there's a potential that I'm not giving myself enough vertical time, digestion, moving around. Maybe take the dog for a walk or something.
You can get away
afterward
with that when you're young. You really can.
Eat right before
your
bed.
your sphincters in your digestive system, which basically hold everything down.
Sure.
It's called a sphincter. It's kind of a funny word.
Great word.
Great word. Yeah, they're valves that basically hold everything down in your stomach.
They
And
weaken over time, I
yeah,
assume, huh?
everything does, just with the aging process. That's just how things go with connective tissue and muscles. But yeah, after a while, that can be the cause of acid reflux, things like that. Feeling weird in the morning, feeling like you got like burning sensations
Sure.
in your esophagus or upper
Yep.
digestive
Yep.
system. I don't
Makes
know what
sense.
is that what you're talking about?
No, mine's more GI stuff, lower in the body.
Yeah.
But it's discomfort nonetheless.
Closer to the rectum.
Yeah, yep, much closer. Yep,
Yeah,
exactly.
fun stuff, dude. Fun stuff to
No,
talk
but
about, but
you know
necessary.
what? It is, and this is human stuff. You know what I
Yeah,
mean? It's like
exactly.
the listener might not have the same exact problems, but they've got something of their own.
Everyone's
And
got something.
Everyone's got something that's easy to put on the back burner, and I do it daily almost. And it's nice to kind of remind ourselves the importance of
Being real.
taking, being aware and doing something about it, because
man.
that's what you do for me, honestly, Connor, is the accountability of like, that I know that that I could be better. We all know, right?
We all know you
all
could be
know
better.
I could be better. And it's nice to kind of have somebody that's like, dude, just get better. I mean, what is that old movie Brink? You used to watch Brink as a
What's
kid, Disney
stopping
Channel.
you? What's stopping you? Brink, dude. That's a roller skating movie.
Rollerblading.
Okay, sorry.
A little different, but remember the sister, little sister. He's
Yep.
like, man, I suck. I don't know what to do. And the little sister's like, all you got to do is skate better, right? And just skate better.
Yeah.
That was her advice, and he just took it and ran with it. And that's what you do to me, man. You're like, dude, just eat better. Figure it out. Take care of yourself. We all got problems. Just figure it out.
It's true. It's not harsh, man. It's not
Not at all.
harsh, right?
And that's sometimes the kick in the ass you need to just go figure it out, you know?
Yeah, and it is on us as individuals to figure it out for ourselves,
Mm-hmm.
right? And that's when we can better come together. That's when power is really, I don't want to say power, but I want to, when the strength of this that momentum that we're talking about, when you have that relatability with somebody and somebody else
Mm-hmm.
is right by your side, and you can look over your shoulder and see them there clipping right next to you
Mm-hmm.
and getting after it.
Mm-hmm.
If there's something to be said about that.
Definitely.
There's something
You
to be said about the
perform,
strength that
yeah,
gives you
right. Yep,
when you're not alone. You don't feel
definitely.
so alone.
You ever go on a bike ride by yourself versus a bike ride with somebody else,
Yeah,
especially cross country? How
yeah.
much how much harder do you work when someone's on your tail? I
I'd
mean,
say
it's a
30%.
I find myself just dinking around. I think I'm tired. I'm kind of just playing, whatever, just doing my own thing. Someone's on my ass. I mean, it's a different level. My heart's just pounding, and
What about when it's somebody you respect?
definitely, yeah. And
What
I think
about when you're riding with somebody you respect
it's, yep.
and they say, "Hey, you want to take point?"
Mm-hmm. And you're like, no, no, I'll follow. No, but you do, and it brings out another level of rider in you, and that's, I think that hits what you're talking about of, having somebody hold you accountable, and just kind of someone to give you little bumps here and there, keep you going. So I definitely see that. That's something I love riding with other people, not just for the company, but the ride is much more valuable in terms of a workout for me.
Yeah, man.
Mm-hmm.
There's something special about that.
There is. Yep.
See, it all comes full circle.
Yep.
Biking in Marquette.
So speaking of, you're gonna come out today.
Yeah,
3 o'clock. We're gonna start running shuttles. What time is it?
216.
2:16. I better get back pretty soon. But
Yeah.
yeah, soon we're gonna kick off some shuttles, and you and I are gonna take a ride up together. It
Yeah,
sounds like you
man.
want to ride some yellow, so maybe you're gonna have to take two rides up because one of them
No,
I'd
I
love to.
don't. I don't need to ride yellow. I can just ride
That's
gypsy and Hemi over and over and
what I'm
over.
talking about. Come on out. Let's take a couple laps together.
Yeah, man.
It's pretty cool. And get a ride to the top, zip down, save your energy for the descent.
I think you're not only talking to me, but you're talking to the Marquette community when you say, "Come on out.
I
Let's take a
am,
few laps together."
I am, and this is a message I really want to send because this isn't a huge moneymaker for the ski hill. It's never going to be. This isn't. Skiing's not a huge moneymaker. Ski hills aren't huge moneymakers. This is something that is offered to the community for the community. People know it. There's no doubt that this has the biggest community following, the most volunteers out of any business in Marquette. I mean, this is a huge part of the community. So when I ask people to come out and ride with me, it's like, I need you guys to come out and ride. I need this support, and I need you guys to fork up a little bit of money to show the owner and the investors or whoever it may be that mountain biking in Marquette has potential on their side. It works for them, and it's going to work for us. And that's the only way that we can
As a
continue to
community,
grow. Yeah,
can
and
grow.
have these
It's not
resources.
about Andrew Farron and his. That's the coolest part about what you're doing. Is it's not about like your little like pipe dreams to come true.
No, this is everybody's dream. I mean,
Yeah.
everybody wants to see Marquette Mountain be the next level. And the only way to get there is to have it happen from within. And that's within the community.
Yeah.
It's not one manager, it's not one owner, it's not, a handful of employees. It's the movement, and it's happening. I truly feel that we have more energy and more momentum that you're talking about than we've had in a long time,
How about ever?
potentially ever. I can't speak for.
Better than
I'm
ever.
not gonna lie. I saw some pictures from back in like the 70s and 80s. I mean, that place was lit.
Do better.
I think we can do better.
Do better.
Yep. I mean, there's so much potential, and everybody knows it. And I think that's almost a frustrating part. But the only way to bring that out is by having the community support. So yes,
Right.
please come ride shuttles. Come check it out. Support us. Have a beer, chat. Tell us what you think. Tell us what you want to do better. Come dig. We're going to try to have some more community work bees, and especially with this new beginner flow trail that we're going to work on. That's something we need to be successful.
Yeah.
Connor and I don't necessarily need a new beginner run, but the community does, the business does,
Yep.
and I hope that we get some helpers out to make it happen because, yeah, we charge per shuttle ride and whatever, but that money isn't enough to build new trail. It's
Yep.
not enough to grow the business the way that we all want
Yep.
to see it. So it's got to come from within, and that's the resource that I really am trying to tap into is the community, the support. So yeah, please come
So
out.
how can people support via online? give some shout out to some social media
Sure.
cred?
Yeah, I mean, we're actually filming today. We got a local guy that's going to be doing some filming for us in exchange for a season pass, which I love working out deals
It's
like that.
great. It's
It is
great.
great. I love it. So we're going to be doing some promo stuff, trying to get the word out. We just had our soft opening last week, so today's actually our second day of operation. A lot of pictures and stuff will be
So we
going
got
around.
Marquette Mountain on Instagram,
Yep.
Facebook,
Yep.
Twitter.
We're not
No
on Twitter.
Twitter.
Nope.
Website.
Website. Yep. That type of stuff.
How can you find it? Marquette Mountain. Is that it?
MarquetteMountain.com.
MarquetteMountain.com.
Mm-hmm.
At
Easy
Marquette
peasy.
Mountain on Instagram.
Yeah, MQT Mtn, I think it is for Instagram.
What is it?
MQT Mtn.
MTN as an abbreviation
Marquette
for
Mountain.
mountain. And for Facebook,
Yeah, and just sharing the stoke. I mean,
Marquette
honestly,
Mountain.
that's the biggest thing. If you've got friends from out of town, let them know. Hey, Marquette Mountain is running,
Yep.
and come check it out. And that's what we need. Is we need that positive energy coming from within, the word spreading from within, in order for it to be a success for us. And for us to be successful means that you guys are gonna have a ski hill that's more capable of providing you what
Yeah.
you want to see.
Yeah.
So
Beautiful message, Andrew Farron.
yeah,
Anybody interested in training, Unity HP on Instagram,
highly recommend it.
Unity Human Performance Facebook page, any yoga, Tulavesi Yoga, Marquette, Michigan, Tulavesi Yoga on Instagram, and for any kind of jiu-jitsu or martial arts, Lake Effect Jiu-Jitsu at Lake Effect BJJ, Lake Effect BJJ on Instagram. Until next time, guys, ride the waves, dude.